David Essel in the box with you here today. We're doing David Essel Live, our radio show that's been on the air for 24 years. Right now we're recording live, and we are bringing it to Facebook Live. Once or twice a week, we're going to do at least a portion of the show here on Facebook Live, answering your questions from around the USA on love, relationships, money, and so much more. Now, I just want to let you know that if you ever want to watch the full, or listen to, I should say, the full radio shows, go to our website, talkdavid.com, and you can look for David's radio show. Click on there, and the archive shows go back years and years and years, okay? But right now, we're just giving you a taste as we record this week's show. Very first listener is from, it's about financial freedom out of Dallas, Texas. On a radio show here in Texas, you said it's not about income. I've always thought financial freedom was about income. It's not. According to you, what is it? It's a great question. You know, many times we think, and I used to teach this, oh my God, 25 years ago, in our financial freedom courses, we used to teach people, listen, let's make more money. The more money you make, the more financially free you become, and I was wrong. 15 years ago, we totally changed everything. Hi, Patty. We totally changed everything. And we realized this. Patty, as a matter of fact, who just said hi to me, went through the financial freedom course. Her life was radically changed. Because why? Well, when you focus on, I know this is a four-letter word, it's a five-letter word, but we call it a four-letter word in financial freedom. When you focus on budgeting, on your expenses, when you look at the amount of money you spend on a weekly basis versus what you think you spend, you're on your way to financial freedom. The definition of financial freedom that we've been teaching for over 20 years now is emotional freedom around money. Financial freedom is emotional freedom around money. It's not an amount. You can't reach a certain amount of money and go, when I make $100,000 a year, when I make $1 million a year, I'm going to be financially free. We have worked with couples that make $50,000 a month who were constantly strapped and stressed. And we taught them how to turn it around and become financially free. There was a couple that I worked with that made a combined income of $24,000 a year, and we helped them become financially free by getting their expenses to be underneath their monthly income. Sounds simple, doesn't it? In order for them to be at peace with money. So to answer your question out of Dallas, the number one thing we need to do is figure out what our weekly and monthly expenses are versus our monthly or weekly income. And then there's a formula, and I'm going to tell you what the formula is. The formula for financial freedom is to get your monthly expenses to be 50% or less of your monthly income. Now, what does that mean? It means if you make $4,000 a month, if you want to be financially free, you want your monthly income to be around $200 to $2,500 a month, which leaves you with $2,000 to $1,500 a month to invest, to pay off debt, to save for the future. Does that make sense? That's the formula. We're going to move on to the next caller, or the next listener, but I'm so glad you're with us right now. You're tuned in to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show. Facebook Live, you're watching us, literally watching us do our show live, and it's great. I can do it in the comfort of my office. I can do it right now. It's being channeled into one of our many different SoundCloud accounts, iTunes accounts, Buzzsprouts accounts, Spreaker accounts, and if you want to watch 1 million hours, or listen, I should say, to 1 million hours of our talk radio show, go to talkdavid.com, look for the little link that says David's Radio Show, click on that, and you can listen for years. Thanks so much for tuning in right now on Facebook Live. The next one, this is out of Miami. Did someone encourage you, David, to get sober? I read an article that you've been sober for a very long time, or was it just your decision? Hell no, it wasn't my decision. I don't think many of us get sober because we want to. Oh my God, I've been helping people get sober for over 20 years now, and I've never had someone come in and go, I am so excited to get sober. But I was dating a girl who didn't drink at all, and we were away on vacation, and I was drinking on a regular basis at this time, and one night she was just really upset. She was crying. This is a chick that never cried ever. She was crying. She was like really hurting. And I finally got her to come out of the bathroom and talk to me. And she looked at me and she looked at my glass of wine and she said, I'll never tell you not to drink. But I'm afraid when I tell you my story, you're going to leave me. And I said, what are you talking about? And then she went into this an hour-long story about she was in recovery. She felt embarrassed. She felt that if I found out she was in recovery, that I would end the relationship, because who wants to be with someone who, when you're an alcoholic like I was, you don't want to be with someone that doesn't drink. She goes, when I tell you the whole story, you're going to leave me. And I said, tell me the story. And it was over an hour, and she told me about her upbringing in a heavily addicted household. She told me about her worst experiences in life that forced her to get into a treatment center, or she was going to lose her children. She went into this incredible story. And I listened, and I paid attention, and I said, I'm not leaving you. I don't care if you're sober. I don't care if you went into recovery. I don't care what your problem was in the past. Hey, Donna. I don't care what you're going through right now. I'm not leaving you because you're sober. Now, here's an interesting thing that happened. I knew for a very long time I needed to get sober. She was the straw that broke the camel's back by telling me, you don't have to get sober, David. That's what she was telling me. She said, I'm not telling this to you. I don't want you to get sober. You don't have to get sober. You don't have the problem that I had. Little did she know. But here's the fascinating thing. Because of her openness and honesty, ladies and gentlemen, do you know that the very next day, I called up and I did my intake over the phone with the treatment center, and 30 days later, I was in a 30-day treatment center. I committed the next 365 days, working 7 days a week on my sobriety. That was a number of years ago. She was the person, unknowingly, who encouraged me to get sober through her honesty, her love, her vulnerability. She's the one that gave me that little nudge I needed without ever telling me I needed to get sober. She's the one that was that last person that I decided it's time. One of the greatest moves I've ever made is getting sober. If you're struggling with any addiction, email me through our website, talkdavid.com. I love the work. I love helping people get clean. And I'm going to tell you something, it's worth it. You're tuned in right now to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show. 27 years we've been on the air. And what we're doing is that every week when we record our show, we are doing a portion of it right here on Facebook Live. So we're having about 15 or 20 minutes of our show broadcast here. Then I'm going to continue just doing it the way we normally do it online. But you can listen to thousands of hours of archived shows, including this one, at talkdavid.com. Just go there, and there's this tiny little link that says David's Radio Show. Click on that, and you can listen for the rest of your life. Isn't that awesome? David Essel in the box with you. Next out, this is out of Naples, Florida. Welcome, Naples, Florida. My girlfriend just dumped me. Oh, my God. There were no signs that I can think of. She will not talk to me at all. Where do I go from here? Well, that's a big one. First of all, there's always signs, but depending on the state of mind we're in, we may not pay attention to them. We may deny them. We may justify them. We may rationalize them, but there's always signs that something is up with our partner. A lot of us don't want to see them or hear them or feel them because it means that our back will be against the wall and we're going to have to make a decision. You know, do I go in to get help with her? Do I go in to get help with on my own? Do I end the relationship? So when someone just walks out, I've never, in 27 years of being a counselor and a coach, I've never, without working with someone, ever found out that they were right. There was never a sign. There's always signs. So, and she won't respond to you, then that tells us a lot right there. I think the number one thing we need to do is take a big breath, and I'm going to give you 2 exercises to do, Naples, Florida, just 2. One is I want you to really look within and write about what you may have done that led to the demise of your relationship. And this can be a tough one. Sometimes you need to work with a counselor or a coach or a minister or a priest or someone to help guide you through these questions, because the very first response from many people, hi, Hanny, the very first response from many people is that I didn't do anything. None of this was my fault. Somehow they just left me, but I didn't have any role at all. And when we start asking deeper questions, we realize that there's a lot of things that we probably did, and maybe even part of that is enabling or putting our head in the sand. Sometimes people say, you know what I did? My major role that led to the demise of my relationship is I didn't want confrontation. I didn't want to confront them. So I put my head in the sand, and that's my major role. If that's your major role, that's a huge one to learn from. Hey, Phyllis from Dublin, Ireland. I love it. We've got people from all over the world. And what are you doing right now? You're tuned in to David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show, 27 years on the air. Is that amazing? Right now, you're watching part of our show. We're going to end it in just a minute or two. You can go and listen to all of our archive shows at talkdavid.com. Just look for the little link that says David's Radio Show. You can listen for hours. I'm so glad we have people from all over the U.S., all over the world tuned in to Facebook Live Radio right now. And we'll be doing this every week, okay? So, number one, to go back to the question from Naples, Florida, your girlfriend dumped you, she won't talk to you. So, the number one thing is to write about what could have been my role in the demise of the relationship, number one. Number two is what potentially could have been my partner's role for leaving, the reasons for leaving. Now, you're not going to have a science here with what their role is or the reasons that they have for leaving, but the reason I give you these two exercises is if we're not processing the pain, the discomfort in writing, if we're not able to process in writing, those emotions get stuck inside our body, inside our cells, which creates dis-ease, stress, anxiety, depression, addiction. So the very first thing I'm going to tell you is that start with these two exercises I gave you since your girlfriend dumped you, and then reach out and get help from a professional. Because when you're ghosted, which is what that's called, when someone disappears from your life, when you're ghosted, that can be very painful. So you want to be constantly working on your issues, your challenges, your side of the fence, as they say, okay? Hey, listen, guys, I'm so appreciative of you tuning in. Go to the website to listen to all of our archive shows. Right now, you're watching a portion of this week's David Essel Live, America's Positive Radio Talk Show. Go to the website, talkdavid.com. As a matter of fact, share this video on your wall. Maybe someone in your wall, someone in all of your Facebook friends will watch this and listen to some of the questions we're answering, and it could help them move their way through life, which is what my work is all about, and it has been for the past 37 years. Also, don't forget we have our $3,000 life coach, life counseling giveaway contest for free. Go to the website, talkdavid.com right now and sign up. You might win a $3,000 coaching program with me absolutely free, or one of the many other prizes we're doing with the sweepstakes. Go to talkdavid.com right now. I'm going to say goodbye to all my Facebook friends. You can watch from the beginning this little thing that we did here with David Essel's radio show, or you can go ahead and go to our website and listen to hours and hours and hours of our archive show at the little link, David's Radio Show, okay? Thumbs up, guys. Have an awesome day. Oh, Donna, thank you so very much. Donna Spear, oh my gosh, she is an angel. We did great work together, and you guys have an awesome, awesome day. Bye now.